welcome to the Paddock Porch, round 23. My goodness, the season is technically over. We are headed to Qatar. It is yet another night race under the floodlights. Track challenges mainly attributed to heat, tire degradation. It will be a show of who can handle the heat, which team gets their tire strategy right, and of course manage to get maximum points. F1 fans, Paddock Porch crew, buckle up, rev those engines, get your porch vibes on, get comfortable, get something to sip on, put on your good vibes. I have an awesome guest today. He boarded the Kenya Airways flight to make it here, coming all the way from the Silicon Valley of Africa, nightlife capital of the greatest city in the world, my hometown, Nairobi, Kenya. Today, I see he traded his power suits for some easy porch vibes. Journalist, moderator, Tiger Woods of Limuru Golf Club, self-proclaimed mayor of Nairobi, because he literally runs that city. Chairman of Sherehe, Bonney Tunya. Welcome to the Paddock Porch.
Wow, that was quite an intro. Half of it is not true.
I wanted to say my friend also in the intro, but I was like, we have some beef we need to sort out. So before we are back on Friendville. But yeah, karibu sana. This is the Paddock Porch. At the porch, it's bring your own everything. Have something to sip on. I hope you do. Bring a comfortable chair. Bring good vibes. No VIP treatment. No fancy stuff. Yeah, we are here for conversation. And conversation is what I want to take center stage. Nothing else. Yeah, so right away, we are going to the quick fire segment. Do not overthink. 10 questions. I'll probably do one extra one at the end, but keep it short, keep it witty, keep it fun. All right? Are you ready? So lights out. Let's go. How many takes did you do for your driving license?
If I say the truth, I might be incriminated, but I'm one of those guys who started driving before they actually started driving. Maybe 3 for the purpose of this podcast, but the real story is much longer.
Yeah, so in South Africa, I've had people have had to repeat it more than 5 or 6 times, so I know what you're saying. What kind of driver are you? Calm cruiser, fast and furious?
Fast and furious in my head. And roads, if you know them, I think it depends on the agency where I'm going. Normally, I'm not a crazy driver. I don't overlap at all. Overtake when necessary. I don't think my car has anything to prove. Yeah, I'm happy to just cruise and get to where I'm going.
Yeah, so by that, I know you don't
Absolutely not. Absolutely.
What's your biggest driving pet peeve?
It's a very Kenyan thing. I don't understand why, if we're driving at 30, 25 on a street road, you need to overlap. Somebody said, if you lined up all the cars in the world, there's going to be an idiot from Nairobi who will try to overlap.
If F1 cars had a passenger section, which driver would you trust to drive you?
Piastri?
Yeah. Why?
He has a fast car and everything, but he seems to have a cool head.
It seems you are those people who would rarely get in trouble on the road.
Define trouble.
Trouble like overspeeding, tickets, reckless driving.
No, zero.
Never dented your car.
I'm a good driver. Other people have dented my car when parking, so that's on them. I think when I'm getting my car insurance next time, they need to refund me. Like, I've had a very good run. I've had a fairly safe drive. They need to reward me for that.
Actually, in South Africa, there is an insurance that does that. If you don't overspeed, if you stick to the rules, they actually give you like cashbacks. So it's an actual thing.
It's on paper. They say that?
Yeah, no, here by the end of the month, you get that cashback. No questions asked. Dream car if money was not an object.
Can I pick like 5? You said money was not an object. So,
5 is too many.
But you said we have an unlimited check.
Oh my gosh. Where would you keep them?
Oh, there's space. 5 is not too much. So let's see. Okay, so I've driven some really nice EVs. So if there was ever an electric Mercedes G class, that would be something. So since you're limiting me to one pick, I'd say a Ferrari in black.
Okay. I see they normally pick their customers. You can't just buy. Let's hope then that your esteem will be as high as your bank account, because I heard that it doesn't matter even if you have the money, they will still pick and choose who can buy it. But anyway, Google Maps or I know where I'm going.
Google Maps.
You're not the guy to get lost trying to find your...
If you've driven in Upper Hill, you can't say you know where you're going, because you'll drive here today and on Wednesday, there is a skyscraper.
Okay. So ever gotten lost but discovered somewhere amazing?
Yeah, countless times. Tigoni has like really nice spots, real hidden gems. Okay, not those ones on social, but real hidden gems. So if you're just driving, and I'm trying to get to the golf course, and you say, "Let me try it to see what this road leads," or you miss a turn, it's got really, really beautiful spots. So yeah, absolutely.
If life had a DRS button, when would you use it?
I would use it to move time between the 5th to the end of the month.
Yes, let's
Yeah.
get there
Let's get
already.
there. Let's get there.
Oh, who is winning the Qatar sprint race?
I hate to say this, either Max or the Papayas. Both teams I don't support.
We are going for the Qatar Grand Prix. Who are your podium sitters?
Okay, let's go with Lando. Max, Charles or George?
I had Lando on P1,
Yeah.
Max on P2, Charles on P3. It means we were thinking alike, and I'm quite shocked because
It's been a rough 2 years.
I've never gotten someone who has the same picks as me. So I don't know. We thought alike, and that's quite interesting. But yeah, Lando was gonna do a good job there last year, but he got a really bad penalty and it messed up his finishing position. Max has been there on the podium like countless times, so I wouldn't rule him out of the podium there. Charles also has gotten on podium there a couple of years, but I don't know. We can just hope he can make it on podium there. Piastri has done well there, but I'm rooting for Lando, so let me not put Piastri there. So I will stick to Lando P1, Max P2, Charles P3. And yeah, let's see what happens. The final question for the quickfire segment. Who is winning the World Drivers' Championship 2025?
Oscar.
No way everyone is coming here and saying Piastri is winning. I think people just want to spite me. I don't know.
The making of a champion. He's got a cool head on his shoulders. He's obviously has a fast car, and I just hope they let him race. I think he's got a good package for a champion. He gives you a bit of when Mark started, but with like a more sane head, So yeah, and I mean he's a good driver. His temperament is fantastic.
I'm on record saying Piastri is actually good, but this particular year, like 2025, I want Lando to win. Piastri can try next year, but yeah, this year
you and Zach Brown both want Lando to win, so that's all I'm saying.
That's my uncle.
I think they should. I think they should race. I mean, I think we want to see the rivalry between teams. We want to see the drivers actually get out and race. When
Dominance.
we were, when you were like 15 races in, I thought that was a fantastic race. When he started the season, it was all fair and square, and Oscar proved that he had the makings of a champion. He had a cool head. I mean, he was a good teammate. Like, I mean, there were sacrifices that had to be made, but they just don't want them to race. That just doesn't make sense. But
on media, they are saying they are letting them race. I don't know about that. But
of
yeah,
course,
we are not McLaren fans. We are just trying to enjoy races because teams that we support or people we support are really giving us a lot of nightmares.
They're letting them race the same way. I mean, Red Bull has given Tsunoda the same car Max is driving, right?
No. I think Piastri something got messed in his mind or something. I don't think they would really intentionally jeopardize Piastri's champion. I don't really. If they're doing that, I wouldn't want even to know because that would be so wrong.
Is that your position or your Uncle Zach Brown's position?
Uncle Zach. But honestly, I think he loves Lando, and Lando has been there for longer. So it's like the way you get used to someone and somebody else comes in, so you have to pick between the two. I would pick the one I'm used to, so I don't fault him for that. And I really believe they have given both drivers a chance. I really believe that.
Really?
Because if that was not the case, we would have like, how Max normally wins the championship and he has like the gap is so huge to maybe the teammate. But as you can see in McLaren, the gap is so small. We still don't know who is winning. So I don't think they have favored anyone, honestly, in my in my opinion.
Okay, Uncle Zach.
Oh my God. I don't know. Whoever comes into Qatar with the highest points, I think they're going to win the championship.
I think like 4 races back, Max really got into this thing, and they, Red Bulls, started believing that, perhaps this could be, a different kind of story. But now I think it's pretty much sealed. It's a papaya affair. Who's going to take it? We still don't know. I hope, Oscar. Yeah, they've got this.
Amazing. Thank you so much for your contribution to the quickfire. Anyone who has different opinions, I've said this countless times, these are just opinions. Leave your opinion in the comments. I will comment, I will interact. I want to know about your Formula One life. When did you start watching Formula One? Who do you support? Which team? Yeah, tell me about it.
So I'm going to place it around 2014 thereabouts. Those early years was that I think now more than ever, we didn't really get to understand and get to know the drivers. Like you mentioned earlier, I mean, they were behind a helmet and they were only reduced to the stats that they put out there, and the numbers. But I think F1 getting its personality and getting drivers out there really changed the game for a lot of people. Really, it was refreshing to see.
Who do you support? Which team and why?
So low-key, I'm part of the Tifosi, like them for the heritage. I think Schumacher did an amazing thing, great contribution to the sport, but 100% 44. I think Hamilton, perhaps the best to ever drive these cars. Team Mercedes is my official team. I think the culture is great. It's a great community, contributed a lot to the sport. So Team Mercedes, 100%. However, I would like anybody else, if Lewis could win the 8th championship with whatever team, that would be fantastic for the sport. But yeah, Mercedes.
By your answers, like since the quick fire and this section, I can guess that you drive a Mercedes, right?
Yes. Was it obvious?
I wanted to say it before, but now I can confirm without even knowing which car you drive. You must have a Mercedes. But yeah, so it's quite interesting. I don't know if that move was the right move, but most of the people who are Hamilton fans really do not like Ferrari. So I don't know how that works, but yeah, so me, I'm Team Hamilton, not too much into team fanatics. Like I can't say I'm a Mercedes or Ferrari. So I started watching because of him. I don't really put much emphasis on the teams. So yeah. And it's quite interesting because there are some people who stopped watching Formula One when Hamilton went to Ferrari. So I don't know.
Those are Netflix F1 fans.
I see. Yeah, but who do you think is going to get the worst end of it if this partnership doesn't work? I mean, the partnership between Ferrari and Hamilton. Who's going to get it worse if it doesn't work?
I mean, there are some crazy debates that are out there. People are saying Hamilton is bigger than the sport, and there's some you can really make a case about that. I think it's too early to judge. The experiment hasn't quite worked, but let's be honest, this car wasn't built for Lewis, right? So he just got onto a car that was built for somebody else. I think this year has been great in trying to collect data, as bad as it sounds, understand the car, understand the culture, work with the garage. I am one of those people who believe next season is going to be better. I'm not putting my money on anything, but I think it will make more sense when they build a car for him. I think Lewis's character, he gets along with the team, with the teammates. He's an easy person to work with. So 2025 season might have been a big experiment, but I think 2026 might be better for the Tifosi. It will not be wise of them to end it now. They need to push it to the next season to truly see if it's actually working or not with a car that is built for the driver. He's certainly brought a lot of attention to the team. Not that Ferrari was a small brand, but he's brought the imagination. If you listen to his conversations when he was joining the team, every F1 driver has a dream to wear the red suit. So that is part of the bigger fairy tale. I wouldn't say it's a bad partnership or it should end. I think it needs more time. Everybody can say many things about their strategy. They could certainly improve in that space, but this is an experiment. Give it time. I'm really keen to see how 2026 looks like with a Ferrari, understanding Lewis's style of driving and building a car that suits him. So that would be great. I don't see them ending this now. I think it makes sense to have Lewis on the seat for 2026.
That partnership, Ferrari is huge, Hamilton is huge. So you're like, who is bringing more to the table?
Yes, this is what F1 should be like. It was like fantasy F1. Like there's something that the Ferrari spirit has, and just putting that together with perhaps one of the best drivers ever. That was amazing. And I mean, when the announcement was made and the first time we saw Lewis in red, it was great. It was a fairy tale. Okay, would he go ahead and win the next championship in a Ferrari? And if nothing, it's great for the sport. I think it's great for the sport. I mean, he brought imagination. They both did that. And I can't wait for the next season.
I like how we are hopeful, yeah? We keep hope alive. Yeah, we'll see
Absolutely.
what happens in
Mhm.
2026. But as you're saying, they need to get him a car that he can work with. You
Yeah.
can have all the experience in the world, you can be the greatest, but if
You need a
the
package that
machine
works.
yeah, if the machine you're given cannot meet you at least halfway, there's
Mhm.
nothing really you can do. Yeah,
Mhm.
that was an amazing take on Ferrari, on Mercedes, on Hamilton.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I know that you golf. So I've got to clear this out because I was
Yeah.
in Nairobi in December and I asked you to do a round with me. No, you asked me if I have clubs. I told you I don't have clubs, and you were like, "How was your game?" I was like, I just do here and there, novice golfer."
Yeah.
Then you decided to block me. Why?
Block
Surely.
is a strong word. That's not how I remember it, but that's an edited version of things. Um,
Clearly, I'm a good editor.
yeah,
Anyway,
block is
at
a
least
strong word.
charity, you just tell me I'll lend you like 2 clubs. We do like 5 holes. I know you can do 18, but I mean, for the sake of fun.
The offer still stands if you want to come and walk.
Ouch! Or caddy.
Yeah, that too. If you
Oh
carry the
my
bag,
God.
yeah. Let's start with carrying the bag.
These people who get
Yeah.
good at golf, they don't want to play with people who don't know. How can we interact? I know you've put in the hard work. That's why maybe you're like, I don't want anyone who's slow to come mess up my game.
Yeah.
I was looking forward to that, but that's where I'm telling you, I got a little bit hurt there because I was thinking maybe you'll
The caddy
help
offer
me with.
still stands. The caddy offer still stands. Absolutely. Come through. Come caddy. Yeah.
Anyway, so how
Uh-huh.
many clubs do you have in your bag?
12.
Oh, okay. How many do you actually use, like on a regular?
All of them.
Huh?
They're all of them. Yeah, but I mean, so how golf works is that each club is for a specific kind of situation. Obviously, you use a putter for all the holes, right? A 7, 6, 8 in majority of the holes because it's good for the second shot. The woods, I hit my driver mostly, not so much my 3-wood, and the rescue from time to time. So yeah, I play all of them, but it depends on the situation. It depends on the weather. It depends on where you find yourself. 12.
Okay.
Mhm.
I see why I wasn't even in the top list because I can work with only 3 because I'm there to just hit the
Huh.
ball. So
Wow, 3 is a
anyhow,
disadvantage to yourself.
need to like prove a point. I only just do it for fun. I don't know how to classify this because I really know golfing requires a lot of time. I cannot commit to that time now, maybe in future.
Okay.
So anytime I want to do a round or just play, I just go maybe to socialize or
Yeah.
just to look at the greens,
Yeah,
like
therapeutic.
the mental calm that comes from just seeing green
Absolutely.
everywhere. That's
Mhm.
my reason for going there. I
And
don't
that's
really.
a good reason. That's a good reason because that's part of
Yeah,
the
yeah,
that's part of the
yeah.
experience. Like the greens, walking out, open, in the outdoors, fresh air. That's very therapeutic. It's great.
I
And if
know.
nothing, that's the first step. But let's go back to the time bit. I think the way people talk about golf, yes, it's time consuming, but I don't believe that anybody can get to a point and say, I can't get good or I can't play because of my time, right? We make time for workouts. We make time for this and that. You can play a 9-hole and it's what, an hour if you're playing by yourself, maybe 2 people, max an hour and a half. I think it's just like any hobby. You make the time for it. And yes, when you have a busy schedule, you might not have all the time to do 3 rounds, 2 rounds a week, but you can squeeze in an hour.
So you're just telling me to
I'm
get
not
good
buying
at
that.
it
Yeah,
so that
yeah.
I don't come to just look at
That's
you.
true. Exactly. So that you don't get to carry for me.
Yeah, so what's your
Mhm.
favorite club? Like you use all of them, but we all
Wow.
have a favorite club. When others are not working, which one is working for you?
I think for me would be my 50-degree wedge. It's a beautiful club. I also really enjoy hitting my driver, so I can't pick between those two, but let's go with the 50-degree wedge.
What's your pre-shot routine?
I, like any other recreational golfer, we overthink a lot of stuff, right? So I think 2023 I was traveling, then I carried my clubs. I went to play at the Malindi Golf Club. And on that day, there was no tournament, there's nothing. I just rocked up and they said, I'd like to play. Is anyone available? And the resident pro was like, we can play. So that was a masterclass because he fixed so many things in my swing. And one of the things he kept saying is don't overthink it. I do not take a practice swing on the tee box. I don't do it. And that was Qatar's at the
No
Pro.
way.
Yeah. So the idea was address the ball. If you feel right, hit it. What that does is that it just removes the overthinking. I don't have to think too much. The thing about golf is that if you're standing over the ball for too long, 100% you're going to mess that shot. Whether you're putting, whether it's your second shot, whether it's your tee shot. The guy was like, if you feel right about it, if your grip is great, go for it. Golf is two things. There's muscle memory, but then there's confidence that comes with repetition and consistency. When you have an overly complicated pre-shot routine, you kind of mess up that flow because it stops now being a checklist. You're second guessing yourself. Is my stance right? Am I dropping my shoulder? Am I doing this and that? So the less time I spend just before I hit the ball, for me, builds trust. Because golf is about building trust in your swing, in yourself, knowing that I'm going to get this. And how you know it's 100% about trust, when you're having a good round and you're really shooting good numbers and you have like 3 holes to go and you have a fantastic driver shot, you're like inside 100, then you start overthinking like, oh, if I make birdie here, I'm going to have, I'm going to score, break this and that. That's when it goes wrong. And so what this guy was saying is that if you're sure about yourself, let's reduce that checklist. And the best golf you play is when there are no stakes. Like on a Sunday afternoon, you're by yourself doing a 9-hole. That's when you play your best golf because you're not overthinking. Same way when you go to the range, you hit your ball the best because you're not thinking. You have a bucket of 100 balls. If this goes wrong, you still hit another one. That thinking helps you know that it's not a life and death situation. Even if I have a bad shot, the next one is going to be great. That's what I try to cultivate on the course. So my pre-shot routine is super simple. Stand in front of the ball, look at the target and go for it.
It's a good game, and it's good that people find hobbies that bring peace. Some hobbies we used to do when I was young.
Younger.
It was hectic. I mean, I tried to wonder how we managed to do some things, and now I cannot do them. We are always looking for, like now I run, I try and do boxing, things that bring peace to my mind after. I'm not feeling drained. I'm not feeling tired after. As much as it's workout, you feel good after. So it's good that we cultivate some of those hobbies. You have heard that Live Golf is coming to South Africa. Are you coming?
I have very many things to say about Live Golf, right? I think there are still things that are important in the sport that make people want to watch and love it. And Live might argue that they opened up the sport to God knows what and all that. I think when you throw money at a problem, you're not really solving it. If you look at a lot of the PGA guys who moved to Live, I wouldn't say their career has been fantastic other than DeChambeau and a couple of others. Look at John Ram. I mean, his game was solid. I think Live is fantastic, but it doesn't give you that competitive edge. There's a meaning that, playing in a PGA tournament has for these athletes that you just don't get in Live. Well, you get the big check, but is a tournament competitive, So that for me is I'm not too excited about it. I'm sure it will be a wonderful tournament.
I saw their tickets and like just touching the grass, like ground pass was like 2,500. You have not even seen John Ram. You have not seen Bryson. And that's runs, huh? That's Kenya shillings. I was like, really? Is it worth it? So I'm those people who are waiting for the flash sale. Like when it's like 200, 300 is when I'll buy the ticket.
I'd rather get in the lottery to try get a pass to the Masters.
So I've known you for a while, watched you on TV since I don't know when. Personally lost touch for a bit, reconnected later when we are like family people. Everyone has their own family. And our history stems from our hometown Nakuru. And so one time I saw you post something, on Instagram we post things, but sometimes it's for the gram. It's not for, I don't know, you are going to tell me. You posted and said that golf saved me. Is it just a statement for the gram or what did you mean by that?
No, it wasn't just a statement for the gram. The statement was actually true in the sense that sports can get you from a very dark place. I'll give you 2 examples. The first example, 2019, I was with the BBC. I got promoted and I was now leading a team. And that came with a lot of pressure because you're leading a diverse team across different geographies, different age groups. And that came with so much pressure. And we were doing a new project that hadn't been done before. And so there was a lot in first building the team, getting the idea, getting it approved, etc, etc. So one of the things that I started struggling with is just anxiety that came with decision making and the pressure. And I didn't want any medication or anything. I just wanted to deal with it. So one of the things I started doing, a friend suggested, how about you get into a sport that really excites you? And I started running. And then after the run, the endorphins and the feel good hormones, and you're excited and like you feel like you could take on the world. That's how I started running, and started running marathons. And this year I did a full marathon. And so I'm looking at that as what sports can do. The second one was golf. I started playing golf perhaps 2018, but not as committed as well. There was a lot of work, a lot of travel, but then we had like a tragic family experience. I lost my firstborn daughter to illness, and that was very, very difficult and dark place. And after the dust had settled, I needed to spend my time doing something that I love, but something also that allows me space to process things. And so I went back to golf like fully. It gave me meaning. In a dark place, you need a reason to get off bed. You need a reason to to draw the curtains. You need a reason to go outside, and that really was a big part of it. You're like, I have a reason to wake up in the morning and go outside and shoot a game. I'm at home and I'm thinking about my next game. And that really saved my life. So people play this sport or any other kind of sport for different reasons. For me, I think it's the meaning it has. I tell guys, golf is my space. That when I'm thinking through my career, my work, planning my day, planning my week, it's right there. It's in my calendar. It's right there. So I tell people the things that get you from the brink or from just harming yourself are not the big reasons. The things that give you a reason to live are, have you fed your cat? Are you going to play a game? Do you have an invitation to play around tomorrow? Are you meeting with the guys to shoot around? Well, it's a simple thing. It's not the big things. And I think for me, being excited about finding meaning in something that didn't exist before, but then now, it gives you life. So I have utmost respect for sports. Like you said, I think we need to do things that are bigger than ourselves, and finding meaning is great. And for me, sports is how I do that. A lot of my important milestones in life have some sporting activity around it. So absolutely, golf saved my life.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry about your daughter. I know about that. So really, during that time, I don't want to say I reached out because that's personal, but it felt like you wanted to do the grieving by yourself. Let me be. So I got that and I read the room, and it's good that you found something else that could get you out of where you were, because everyone is different. There's some people who want it to involve people in the process of grieving or whatever it is. If you're going through a hard time, there are people who are ready to involve people. There are people who are like, no, just let me be. And really, you went under, then resurfaced. I was so happy to see you resurface because,
I was happy I resurfaced.
I was happy for you. And
yeah.
it really felt good to see you, because what you're talking about, as simple or as cool as you're talking about it, I would not imagine what you went through. I have kids. They are my whole life. If anything happens to my child, like my heart aches, literally, like you can feel like your heart is going to have like a heart
Physical
attack.
pain. Yeah.
I know. So I really did not even know. You know how you're thinking, so how can I even tell this person I'm sorry, because I really cannot even understand. But yeah, I'm happy golf did that for you. And I don't know, have you reached to a point where when you talk about her, you smile?
So, yeah, it's different every day for sure. And I tell guys, if you get to that place that you're smiling or happy when you're talking about it, a lot of people use that as a mark of, you've gone over it, or a term people use, you've moved on, which I don't understand
You can't move on
what
from
you're
that.
moving on from. I think it's the realization that their life is bigger than that one painful experience, and allowing yourself to also experience those other moments and remember them and honoring those. I think that's important. We always limit these things to just the traumatic bit, the painful bit, but then there's a whole life that needs to be celebrated and remembered and honored. And I think the celebration should be us trying to remember the entire experience and not just that one bit. The degree of how you are able to talk about it is not so much about how you've gone over it or healed. Being able to talk about it comes from how you're feeling at that point. You know, there are days that you are able to, and there are days that you're not. So it's not so much that, oh, so now you've overcome it, you've healed, you're strong. Every day is different. And what people don't understand, when you lose somebody, you still continue to have a relationship with them in the sense that their life doesn't stop there. And so it's about understanding this new dynamic and being able to operate in that. So the relationship doesn't end, it transitions into something different. And having the words or the language for that is what takes people so much time. The thing with grief is that it's painful because of the huge loss, right? And then we tend to stigmatize it, say, why are you moving on, move away from it, because the people around you don't know how to deal with you in that space. Yeah, so it's for them. The whole moving on and everything is for them. They are thinking, they're thinking, I'm not
Get through
comfortable with this. I
this.
don't know how to. Yeah, exactly. But there's you being in that space, constantly honoring the memory of the person who's departed is a show of your love for them, and it's not you being stuck, right? Let somebody do it how they want and how they interact with them, because it's an expression, and you can't determine or come up with a formula for that.
Okay, I've learned something because you're saying that you still have to keep a relationship going. How do you keep a relationship going with someone who's not there? I think that's really difficult. I would find it difficult. So I think just understanding how you can do that is maybe what helps you do the next thing. I don't know. But I saw you did something in her memory and you always keep doing stuff in her memory. Tell us about that.
People say in 1,000 years, will people remember that we were here? Right. And my job is to make the people around me not forget her. So, for example, a lot of people would start medical charities, and that's a fantastic thing. My sense was starting a medical charity limits her life to illness. And so what we did is that my daughter Lulu loved books. And so we said, that's what we want to remember her with. We looked around and said, how do we do this? And said the blessing of being able to afford her access to books, we want to share that with the rest of the world. And so we looked around and identified a needy community and decided to build a library. Also, we were saying when kids get into this library and are reading these books, they will ask, who is Lulu? And that's where the story is. When we started, we realized it was a huge project, both financially and also the emotional demands of it. And so that's what we've been doing, trying to build this facility that will share that gift of learning to kids who can't access it. And so we're building the Lulu Memorial Library out in Kisumu. Every year on her birthday, I also host a golf tournament. The idea is this relationship has not ended. You're still expressing it. It means you need to be creative in how you continue it. Your relationship with them still continues, but their relationship with the rest of the world, you're the one to maintain it. And that's just how I look at it. Yeah.
That's a lot of work. You have to maintain your and her and everyone's end. But that's a really nice way to remember her. And where this facility is, may it be able to bring up young people who will do great exploits in the world.
Absolutely.
Because really, learning gets us far. We were young. We were just playing when we were small kids. Would you have imagined that I would be here, you will be here? The learning
and imagination. Imagine is a good word you've used, because that's what it's all about. It's about, that gift of imagination. I read somewhere that your ambition and your plan is as big as your imagination. So creating those opportunities to imagine things, and it's in the imagination that the possibility then comes. So even for, like you're saying, for kids going to school, starting a career, picking a sport, that's where it starts. And for a lot of people, it doesn't happen because that bit of imagination is what doesn't exist. And so you need to constantly afford yourself, and especially the younger ones, that opportunity to imagine.
So that was really powerful for me to hear about that, and also about just trying to give other kids the imagination through books of where their life can get to. I'm really sorry you lost her, and I'm sure you're trying your best to manage that. I'm sure your family is trying their best to manage that. I've been building my confidence online. I've been self-learning on the podcasting. I do everything myself, from scripting, like concept and everything, to editing and everything. And I got over the feeling of it has to be perfect, you know. That's why now I want to tell people about it. Before getting kids, I was so obsessed with perfection. Like everything had to be perfect before I show somebody. It doesn't matter if it's work, it doesn't matter if it's the house. You know how you get a guest, you're like, the house needs to look nice, you know. I became a mom. I'm like, if you're coming, you just come and find the house. I'm not trying to impress anybody. So I think that was the biggest hurdle for me in this podcasting, just getting over the fact that it has to be perfect. So now I'm okay with whatever I can do with what I have, with the time I have. And I've decided to involve some people and get guests, because really I like talking to people, you know.
Makes sense if you talk to somebody. Also, you get to bounce ideas. Yeah, like we say, okay, no, she's not crazy.
And it feels so good. And you know, we are social beings. So anytime I invite someone or somebody says they want to come to the Paddock Porch, I really get pressure, you know, because I don't want somebody to come here and they're like, I wasted my time. You know, I didn't even vibe with this person. I mean, this person looked like they were not even interested with what I'm saying. So the only thing I'm trying to obsess is, this guest comes to the Paddock Porch, I want them to feel like they talked to an actual person, easy. Nobody's trying to make headlines with what you're saying, you know. Exactly. And you know, Kenyans, we are good at conversations. I appreciate you being on the porch. In your line of work, you interact with lots of people. And really, I would like you to tell me at the top of your mind anything you would leave as wisdom on this porch.
So many things come to mind, but this is basically a reflection, especially for people living in African cities. There's a lot that is happening, and life just comes at you very fast. I think the first thing I'd say to a lot of people is find a hobby. Find something that you love that doesn't necessarily make you money. Find something that you do yourself. Find something that you want to wake up in the morning and that's what inspires you. A good hobby will cost you money, and that's a first sign of commitment. Find something that you do for yourself. Find something that makes your body healthy. Vouch for yourself. Take a chance on yourself. Be easy on yourself. Be kind to yourself. It's tough for everybody. Allow yourself to make mistakes. Allow yourself to have do-overs. Allow yourself to start again. For dudes, put away some money. Put away lots of money. Money does buy happiness in some shape or form. So
it does pay for the expensive clubs.
Be smart with your money. That's all I'll say. So for me, get a hobby, do something that you love, take a chance on yourself, and keep away some cash.
Thank you so much. I can't let you go without asking you. So you moderate panels. So which is the most like powerful panel, like had the most powerful people that you ever moderated? And were you able to push your agenda, or did they push their agenda on you?
This time I was in Kigali, and it was a conversation about education and science. We had a panel that had Paul Kagame, president of Rwanda, George Soros, and Fred Swanika, and one other academic person from an Ivy League. And for me, the thing about the work that I do is connection. I need to connect with people intellectually. I need to understand what they're saying and feel what they're saying, and then bring ideas together. The first 5 minutes of that panel was a train wreck, because everybody in that panel is super smart, super powerful, super influential. And you constantly ask yourself, so what exactly am I bringing to this table? But the fact that you're there and you're seated on the chair is validation that you are in the right place. If everything else fails, you are here. So that was intense. And the good thing with that is that things that really stretch you make you really shine. It may not feel the same when you're going through it, but they really do. So after the panel, it was great. We had a little chat with these guys, and somebody come and say, that was a good conversation, and that was validation, right? But I've never had such crazy imposter syndrome like that. Over time, I've spoken to so many people, powerful, influential etc. But that for me was huge, where you question why you're here and what value you're bringing, and you're doing it as it happens, composing yourself and still being able to deliver. That was hectic. Yeah.
Wow, I love Kagame. I've been to Rwanda. Oh, I love Rwanda. Anyway, when you're speaking,
Yeah.
I've worked with politicians, right? The biggest problem with politicians is their public perception. So,
Yeah.
like, you are a moderator. So, if you're moderating a panel with politicians, sometimes some politicians in Kenya, they will even try to script what
Yeah.
you want
Yeah.
to say. And that's
Yeah.
what I wanted to get from you. Do you like push back, or do you like
Absolutely.
or you
Absolutely. You have to, because I spent about 15 years as a journalist on TV. At the end of the day, your audience is your number one priority, right?
Yeah.
It's not the politician or whatever. It's your
That's good.
audience. Like for you
That's
right now, it's the authenticity and a great conversation that you owe your audience is what drives you. And I know at times everybody comes with their own agenda, but for you to be called a moderator or an anchor, you're anchoring the conversation. You are
Wow.
trying to ensure that value comes out. You have to push back. You have to be aware that it's a battle for ideas. And some of these skills you only pick over time, because at times you could be intimidated because these are powerful people. But at the end of the day, when you sit on that chair, you need to know that my job is to ensure that this conversation is useful to the people who are listening. It's not about me. Anyone else could sit on that chair, but is this conversation useful for the guys who are listening? Is it beneficial for them? Will they sit and say, I didn't waste my time? So that's the number one thing that allows you to push back, especially when people are derailing the conversation or they've come just to self-promote. You need to be able to constantly bring us back to why we are here and why this is important. So you do that. It's not something that you're born with, or, when you start a career, whatever, journalism, public speaking, radio show, whatever, it's something that you grow into.
Yeah.
You deliberately develop that skill because you have to be honest to the people that you're speaking to. I mean, you owe them. People made time to listen to you. So you owe them the value for that. Yeah.
Wow. You see, now I would have let you go and you would not have told me.
I know, right?
It's wisdom that you cannot get anywhere else. So thank you for that. And
Yeah.
you telling how really you build into this, it speaks to me because I'm building something. So I
Okay.
shouldn't be like, I will get it right
No,
today. I will
no.
get it right tomorrow. No, just every day, just build into it. Anyway, wow. Thank you so much, Bonney Tunya, for that.
Yes.
Thank you so much for your wisdom. Thank you so
Thanks
much
for
for
having
your
me.
time. This felt like home, home away from home.
Absolutely.
And at some point, a bit of emotions, because when I became a mom, I became a softie. I can
Yeah.
cry if somebody tells me something sad, but before that, I was really hardcore. I guess because of working with politicians. But when I stopped working with politicians and started
Right.
becoming a mom, I'm really a softie. And really, about your daughter, like, what I can say, we don't have a name for parents who lose kids. I think that's how it's something you
It's
cannot
unimaginable.
really
Yeah.
get over. So really, I keep praying for you in
Thank you.
that area. I don't know, you got Kipchoge to sign something for you. I need you to
Yep.
tell him about me, tell him something.
No, so
Tell him
I
to
have
come to the porch and say, a running world is a healthy world.
absolutely Elliot. I really admire the work that he does, and as somebody who runs recreationally, but also for the ethic and the discipline and his worldview, is a total legend. And so it was really a big honor for him to sign a copy of his book for the Lulu Memorial Library. I mean, that happened obviously courtesy of friends and connections, but it's surreal. I mean, he's such a fantastic human being, and the things that he stands for and believes, and him choosing to support this cause for us is huge. He himself has built a library, fantastic library out there in Nandi. And so being part of sharing that vision and, just connecting to what he can unlock was fantastic. So let's see if he comes on the podcast, right? Let me talk to a friend of a friend.
I won't even ask him anything. I'll just tell him, goat, please say a running world
It's a healthy world.
If he doesn't buy it, tell him I started to run. I'm doing sub 2 hours, but 10 kilometers.
Wow.
I hope he buys it because
sub 2 hours for 10 kilometers is a waste of everybody's time.
But don't say 10 kilometers fast. Just
Yeah.
use the sub 2 hours. And
Sounds
after
like
he
fraud.
asked,
It
then
sounds
you
like
tell him,
fraud.
no, this girl is talking about 10 kilometers.
You
But
know,
anyway, I love Elliot. Like, you know how you love a stranger?
oh,
Just,
he's
I
fantastic.
love him. I follow him. You know, most of these popular people in Kenya, their social media is run by managers. So when I'm commenting or saying something, I'm really aware that the person is not actually going to see
They
what
might keep
I don't
doing
know.
it.
I used to, as I've told you, I used to do stuff with politicians. When people are commenting on their accounts, they need to understand they're not reading them.
It's
It's
not them. It's not them.
managers.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it just comes from my past experience whereby
Mhm.
you see people insulting this public figure and you
Yeah.
know that it's this social media guy who's receiving the insult. It's not
Yeah.
even
It's
the
not the guy. Yeah.
politician.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so that's why I'm telling you, even if it's 5 minutes, I
Yeah.
would appreciate. I know
Why
he's
not?
a humble guy. He wouldn't
Yeah.
mind to come on.
Yeah.
Yeah, and may the memory of Lulu live on, and every kid who interacts with books courtesy of her, may they do great exploits everywhere in
Fantastic.
this world. And
Mhm.
so that's the end of our episode. Crew, remember to subscribe on YouTube, follow on Spotify, follow all my social media accounts. I have one more guest. I'm so excited about them. And yeah, that will be a wrap for me. So I told you guys, December, I'm not recording. It's Christmas and it's my birthday, so I don't need to record then. If anyone is interested to come on the porch, I've said it a couple of times. Everyone is welcome on the porch. Just have conversational skills, know a bit of Formula One here and there. And yeah, DM me, but that will be for next year. Join Discord if you're an F1 fan. That's where we do race banter on race days. Until next time, this is the Paddock Porch where we talk hot laps, life, and family. I'm Shiko, and as always, God bless.